Hello everyone, we are Group 5 will present material about teaching reading. I will introduce the member of our group, so they are Mela, Mei, and Annie. Teaching means giving instruction to someone to do something or to know something. The teaching process is the process of the teacher's knowledge to transfer for students or from one person to another. Reading is one of the four language skills. Reading has three basic definitions in which learning to read means. First, learning to pronounce the words. Two, learning to identify words and get their meaning. And three, learning to bring meaning to a text or extract the message from a text. So by reading, people may get a lot of information. In teaching reading, the teaching strategies carried out in the classroom are activities that must be done by teachers and students. This means the relationship between students and teachers must be good so that learning objectives can be achieved effectively and efficiently. Teaching strategies can help students receive learning and improve the teaching learning process so as to create an interactive learning environment. That is why the teacher's strategy in teaching must be effective in achieving the planned objectives. In other words, teaching strategies also approach teaching students. Teachers' strategies in teaching are the ways the teachers use in teaching reading to attract students' attention to learning reading in the classroom. There are many strategies that teachers can use when they use teaching reading comprehension. Some of them are by using authentic material and approaches, and then reading aloud in the classroom, and then comprehension question, and then before the teaching in the class, the teacher must check the difficulty level of the text. In addition, teachers also may use other strategies such as developing the vocabulary of children and not continue reading without understanding and grasping the heart of the matter, and then using contextual clues, and then strategies, and then teaching reading strategies, and visualizing what is written, and identify text, and so on. Then skills at reading text make it easier for someone to know the meaning of what is read. In the next slide, will be explained with my friends about the teaching strategy in teaching reading, and strategy in teaching reading comprehensions.
Okay, now about teaching strategy in general. Teaching strategy is used by the teacher to make planning about what material and manner to success on teaching learning process. Teaching strategies is a plan, method, or series of activities designed to achieve a particular educational goals. So here are four teaching strategies for teaching reading. The first one is think, pair, share. Think, pair, and share is strategy that teaching reading by asking students to think, pair, and share reputed to be effective in order to improve students' understanding about the materials. And the second one is reciprocal teaching strategy. According to Pelinskar and Brown, there are three advantages of this strategy. The first one is students are provided a window into the thinking of proficient readers as they problem solve their way toward meaning. And the second one, students are conditioned to approach reading as an activities as an active and strategic process. And the third one, students learn behaviors that will help them become more independent readers, capable of handling increasing sophisticated materials. The third teaching strategy is question and answer strategy. Teacher can use this strategy. Teacher asks questions that the questions to guide comprehension should be based on the information readers need to answer the question. And the last one is small group discussion. Students' interaction is small group discussion can add interest and fun to the exercise as well as increase learning. Share their ideas or information so that the student can talk much and may play their part actively and learn with each other.
Third one is strategy in teaching reading. Psychologically, reading is viewed as an interactive process between language and thought. There are that kind of activities involved in relation to the reading class activities. Pre-reading activities. During reading activities and post-reading activities, Muhroji 2011. Pre-reading activities. Pre-reading activities are interactional activities carried out before students conduct the real reading activities. In pre-reading activities, activation is concerned with the student background knowledge. Objective of reading class, learning activities, and motivating the student. In this stage, teacher tried to activate the student, simulate related to the topic or explaining briefly the content of the text. Pre-reading is to tell students the purpose of the reading and learning. Pre-reading is also motivate the student. Motivation in reading attracts student. Attention the text. The activities of pre-reading are activities aiming at the facilitating the student understand about the reading text. And the second one is during reading activities. During reading activities are the activities that reader does while reading take place. Muhroji 2011. Mention that while reading include the first one, identify the main idea. The second one, finding a detail the text. The third one, following sequence. The fourth one is inferring from the text. The fifth one is recognizing the discourse pattern. During reading activities are instructional activities that are going on while reading activities are happening. Muhroji 2011. 5 activities to do while reading. The first, reader identify main idea of the text and identifying topic sequence through skimming. The second, reader find the details in the text and finding scientific information. The third one, reader follow a sequence by relating items in particular order or process. The fourth, readers information from the text by trying to understand the text using their stomach and experience. The fifth, reader recognize the discourse pattern to understand the text holistically. The third one is post-reading activities. Post-reading activities are activities conducted by a reader after reading. In post-reading activities, students do pause, question, and feedback. The pause questions are more active in incidental, comprehension, and the objective. Since information of both greater and lesser importance is learned. Post-reading activities are instructional activities that the student and teacher do after reading take place. Muhroji 2011. Point out that post-question feedback and group and whole class discussion are activities that can be done in the place of post-reading activities. The activities function to check student comprehension about the text being read. The post-question after reading class activity are very important since information of both greater and lesser importance is learned. Besides asking questions, summarizing the content of the text is also applicable to the student. The activity of post-reading can also be in the form of discussion. Thus, discussion can be in group or whole class discussion. The discussion may depend on the class size. If the class is big, it will be better have group discussion. If the class is small, it will be better to have whole class discussion.
Hello, I'm Kadek Melapatma. So today I'm going to present about strategies in teaching reading comprehensions. Okay, when someone reads something, if they can know all about the meaning of what they read before, they can call the successful readers. And based on from the FACA, there are some strategies in teaching reading comprehensions. So the first one is scaffolding, and the second one is think aloud, and the last one but not least is reciprocal teaching. Okay, for this scaffolding, a key change in the delivery of instructions, what will make a difference in the content literacy of all learners, especially students for diverse backgrounds. And for the scaffolding, allow teachers to help diverse situations. Scaffolding is as a process whereby a student is helped to solve a particular problem beyond in development's capacity through the help of a teacher or other persons with more ability. Then the second one is about think aloud. Think aloud is a strategy that helps students on learning activities, aims to recall more significant information for the text given by teacher. The ability of teachers or transfer creativity, them and controls the students in completing each step of the way. Think aloud strategy in understanding reading text, and teachers make their thinking by verbalizing their thoughts while reading orally. So, and think aloud, there are 5 points. The first one is to develop image by describing pictures, forming ends on heads from the informations being read. And the next one is to develop hypotheses by making predictions. And the next one is to link new informations with prior knowledge by sharing analogies. And the next one is the monitoring comprehensions by verbalizing a confusing point. And the last one is to regulate comprehensions by demonstrating strategies. Then for the strategies for reading comprehensions, I will take one example about narrative text. It includes about story maps. Teachers can have student diagrams the story grammar of the text to raise the awareness of the elements of the author uses to construct the story. Story grammar includes setting, like where the place happens, and then about the characters, and the story and the plot, and also the theme, what the themes of the story is about, love or the others. I also have the examples of story maps, whereas the titles is about the Goldilocks and the 3 bears. And there is also the setting, like Once Upon a Time, House in the Forest, and about the characters like the Papa Bear, Goldilocks, Mama Bear, and Baby Bear. And then about the problems, while the bears are away, Goldilocks goes into the bear's house. And then about the important event like Goldilocks at ball parades, and then until the bear found the empty bowl and the broken chair and Goldilocks in the bed, and like the outcomes and the theme for this story is you should respect to other people's properly. Okay, the next one is about questioning. Asking and answering questions about the text is another strategy that helps students focus on the meaning of the text. Teachers can help by modeling both of the process of asking good questions and strategies for finding the answer in the text. And the next one is about making inferences. In order to make inferences about something that is not explicit stated in the text, students must learn to draw on prior knowledge and recognize clues in the text itself. And last but not least is about visualizing. Studies have shown that students who visualize while reading have better recall than those who do not. It based on the Presley, and readers can take advantage of illustrations that are embedded in the text or create on their own mental image or drawing when reading text without illustrations. And then the next one is about retelling. Asking students retell a story in their own words force them to analyze the content to determine what is important. Teachers can encourage students to get beyond literally recounting the story of drawing their own conclusions about it. And then about predictions. Teacher can ask readers to make predictions about the story based on the titles and in any other classes that are available, such as illustrations. Teachers can later ask students to find texts that support or contradicts their predictions. And the last but not least is about answering comprehension questions. Asking students different types of questions require that they find the answer in different ways. For example, by finding literal answers in the text itself, or by drawing on prior knowledge and the inferring answer based on classes in the text.